It's been an hour since you've been home. Here we go, guys. How's it going? Friday morning, 10:30 a.m., April 3rd, Sydney, Australia. How you doing, guys? We have fights in about 10 hours. So if you're a JSB insider, you're in our Discord, you're in our Patreon, you would have 8 tickets. Okay? The first fight for our squad for our tickets happens in 10 Japan, 8 o'clock. Renee Santiago. Just to give you a heads up. Maybe hold on. My bad. Marlon Tapales. Marlon Tapales fights at 7 p.m. Sydney time. It's 10:30 a.m. Sydney time now, so about 8.5 hours. So we'll kick off our long parlay and we'll kick off our prop of the week. 2 tickets will be live in less than 10 hours. If you're in the Discord, we will be streaming those fights in the Discord. If you're not in the Discord, click that link. It's pinned right there. It's a couple bucks a month. You could get access either joining here or Patreon, whichever one you choose, access to the Discord. On YouTube, the benefits, you get all my tickets, you get all my picks, you get more accessibility on the live streams. Patreon, you get members only live streams, and you get all access to all my picks as well. Also, guys, if you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, Johnny Stavko. Say, hey, Jay, what's up? It's so-and-so from YouTube. I'll follow you back. I know a lot of you guys hit me up. And for all of you guys who have messaged me that I haven't got back to your message yet, just give me time. I get a lot of you guys would be shocked. I get maybe 20 to 30 a day, especially over the last 6-7 months regarding the betting and the boxing and all that good stuff. Anyway, for you UFC boys, the MMA boys, I didn't do a UFC live stream this week. The card was a little bit, I don't want to say lackluster, not a lot of name brand fighters on that card, but I will be giving you guys a UFC plus money parlay. I will give that to you after this live stream. So pay attention to the YouTube members only section. Pay attention to the Patreon. If you haven't hit notifications, do that. And let's get into this. I'm going to use this live for you guys. It is Good Friday here in Australia. If you guys are Christian, religious, spiritual, whatever you are, it's a public holiday here in Sydney. I run my own gym out of my house. So I've been taking clients since 6 a.m. So by now at 10:30 a.m., I've already I ran a 5K, I've trained, I've coached 4 clients, and now I'm here to give you guys all of my time. So I'm going to leave this live up to you. You ask the questions, I'll bring up the odds. Let me do that real quick. Any questions you have about the fights, any JSB insiders, questions you guys might have about my picks, feel free to dissect it. Feel free to question it. This is not an echo chamber. We do not have to agree on everything. The last thing I ever want to do is talk you out of your pick. So keep that in mind. I'll ride with her. I'll slide with her. Flow some dogs from the LBC. All the dogs want to kick it with me, 'cause I run with Warren G. He's the weed busters and G. One of them Fridays, low rider, an east sider. All right, here are the odds. I'll get these sorted for the boys. Let me take that off of the screen. All right. I'm going to say what's up here shortly. And here we go. Who's in the chat? Guys, like this video. We're 4 minutes in. 40 of you savages are in here. We got a very educated chat. We have a very talented chat. All I ask from you is like the live stream. Does Pat Brown get the knockout? Power Kennel. Power Kennel. You know you're my boy, Power Kennel. I just want to start here. I just watched Tommy's breakdown on Paulie's Tommy and Paulie's big fight breakdown. Power Kennel, give Tommy a break, man. He's a good dude, man. You're a good dude. I think you guys will get along. Does Pat Brown get the knockout? I think he does. I think that matchmaking is made for him to get the knockouts. A lot of times, guys, when we look at these odds of big favorites versus big underdogs, you can't always assume that they're going to get the knockout, but what you should do is look at the matchmaking, who's promoting it, where's the fight at, who's the A side. They're trying to sort of prop Pat Brown up as a certain guy. Is he that guy? I'm not sure yet. Does he stop his opponent? I think he does. And look at El Gallo Negro 52-48. 52-48 having my back. Appreciate you, El Gallo Negro. My exact point. Prop of the week, pretty much first fight of the whole. Kevin, you're a Patreon. You're an insider. You know I do that strategically. So Kevin's referencing our first fight of the weekend is actually our prop of the week. The reason why I do this is you guys know I put a lot of energy and time into this, as a lot of you guys do. At the beginning of each week, I'll lay out the fight cards, right? And sometimes the odds don't come up for a few days. When I see the odds slowly get released, it's a periodical thing. So I tend to always put either my prop of the week, my dog of the week, my knockout of the week, something along those lines early, because if it doesn't go our way, it gives us more opportunity to have more options. I don't always do it that way. It's just in this case, you're referring to Rene Santiago. Rene Santiago in 2025 went to Japan twice. On our channel, at least, we took him, I think, 2 times as a dog. So I took him on the money line. He's the champion now. I like him on points. I think it's going to be a tough fight. Lately, there should be hesitation, though. I think the overall boxing community is probably as cautious as we've been in a while regarding early stoppage. You have to think about fighter health. You have to think about this fight is in Japan. We know about recently in the last year and a half some horrific outcomes in Japan. Damage, comas, people passing away. So the refs do tend to, at least in the last 2 years, have sort of a quick trigger. And Japanese fighters do tend to fight in the pocket the entire time. Santiago is more of a volume guy, more of an output pace guy, not really a one-punch guy. And it's the lighter weight classes. I'm very comfortable with Rene by decision at plus money. My boy, my man right here, boxing fan, been gone for a while, but he's back. He was on the ground floor. Johnny, how confident? I think I just covered that. Money Meats, guys, wherever you're tuning in, as you're tapping in, just like this video, you guys don't have to do anything else. A lot of you guys are in our Discord. You guys are supporting me heroically since August. Like, to watch the channel growth, our Discord growth, just the community we're building, the support, the positivity too. You guys supporting each other is equally as important. So, like, if you go into our Discord and just see the communications you guys are having with our boxing channel, MMA channel, all the sports, it's a testament to what we're doing here. So all I ask for you is to just like the video, because then that's our way of expanding. If you like the video, that's our way of sort of like helping our message as a team, as a community, grow on YouTube's algorithm. Why do the odds keep getting closer on Callum Peters? Let's pull this up, Kiza. You're the first. You're my boy. It's the first question I've had about the odds, so let's pull this up. Let me see what we're talking about. Now, Callum Peters is my guy. Callum Peters, storied amateur Australian, one of the best nicknames in pro boxing, 50 cal. He's fighting a really tough opponent from Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is a country north of Australia, so north of the Northern Territory, Darwin, and it's indigenous Aboriginal Papua New Guinea. A lot of fighters, a lot of rugby players come from this area. But you look historically, Australian fighters will bring fighters from Papua New Guinea as kind of like filler fights. I don't know what the odds are looking. Let's look at them. I took Callum at $1.25. Callum could punch. Callum's classy. Maybe it's because, let's see the odds first. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Kiza, but these odds have been the same all week. So if you don't know who Delio Muzinho is, Delio Muzinho is a guy, and I talked about this on my live stream yesterday. Callum Peters is facing a guy who has he's basically one of those those toy cars that you pull the string. I'm aging myself. When I was a kid, we had these matchbook cars to where you would turn a key and you would pull them and they would shoot off. And so Peters is a guy who kind of methodically eases into his fight. He could punch. He has great pedigree. He's going to win this fight. He's fighting a guy from Papua New Guinea who's coming out sprinting. So I haven't seen the odds move at all. Callum has been $1.25 on my book all week. So I don't know how much he's moved on your end. I can only say this. If he has moved on your end, it's because a lot of people aren't familiar with Muzinho, and maybe they're odds hunting. But all you have to do is get a little familiar with Callum Peters and understand that people here stateside in Australia think that Callum Peters is going to be a champion. This kid can punch. He's aggressive. He's marketable. He's great on the mic. He comes from a good amateur background. And, if it's not that, it's people saw Muzinho and he sprints at you. So if anything, they're going to see a matchup. How is the young Callum Peters going to handle with him sprinting? I like Callum by knockout, by the way. What up, Johnny Storm? I ran a 5K usually. Yes, Randall Light. We got to take care of our bodies. The only way we can really optimize our minds is to optimize our bodies. You guys know I'm a strength and conditioning coach. You guys know that a lot of you guys met me here, but I've been doing this for a long time in terms of creating content for my coaching business, writing books. I'm a 2-time published author. If you read any of the stuff I write or been following me for a long time, way before the boxing content, you would know that what I'm about to say, the only way we'd be fully optimized, we have to get our bodies right to get our minds right. They're connected. So Randall Light, you're my guy. I wake up early to get my running in. And my birthday's in 3 weeks. So I always look at life like nobody's gonna give us anything. We shouldn't expect anybody to help us. It's not supposed to sound nihilistic. The minute we could help ourselves, then people will want to surround you. You'll attract the right sort of people with whatever you do. But the idea that we're going to wait back and sit back for somebody to save us is wrong. We help ourselves, and running a 5K is you helping yourself. Let's get it. The Four Seasons, thoughts on Malik Scott. I got no shade on any coaches. I'm a coach myself. I'm like number 5. Ground floor. Well, you see boxing fans back. Boxing fan is like early days. What's up, PJ? Big chat salute. I see all the boys tapping in. Big parlay in the house. Top Dog Toya. Top Dog Toya keeps stressing me about the underdog. But Toya, you know me. I'm not going to press anything. I usually give you guys my dog of the week. If I saw a dog, I'd give it to you, Toya. You know that. This will be the first week in 8 weeks that I haven't given you a dog of the week. I just don't see one. Now, if you want a dog that would go against the grain, you guys know I like Denzel Bentley on the money line. You guys know I like Denzel Bentley by knockout. But I wouldn't hate on you if you took Saavedra as the dog. So for anybody out there, if you want a live dog, Saavedra's a live dog. Of all the matchups, I think he's the live dog. Do I think he's going to win? No, I think he's going to get stopped. But if he does win, I can see it. He has a good backhand. He's just too slow for me. He'll be 30. He's turning 36. He's never fought at the world level. He has a good right hand. It's just the feet for me. His feet are in cement. And when you're facing a good jabber like Bentley, when you look at Bentley's tape, you're gonna have a head scratcher. You're gonna scratch your head and be like, how the hell did Nathan Heaney beat him? Nathan Heaney won a majority decision in 2023, 3 years ago. You can't judge that loss on what you saw last week, the Nathan Heaney against Jerome Warburton. Nathan Heaney 3 years ago was in his early to mid 30s, just had his output was there. And sometimes guys age overnight. And I think what it was is the simple fact that Bentley was being too particular in his output. He was waiting too much and he was looking for the perfect shot. And Heaney, when he was at his best, he's a high volume front foot awkward guy, and you kind of could get caught looking at him. A lot to stare at. He's here, he's prodding, he's here. And so like the version you saw against Warburton last week was a very faded version. When you watch the Denzel Bentley fight, it was that version sort of times 10 regarding output. But why it doesn't make me scratch my head because Denzel lost that fight. It makes me scratch my head because only a year prior, Denzel looked really good against Janibek Elamhanaleh. The only guy Janibek Elamhanaleh hasn't stopped in recent memory is Denzel Bentley. And going into the 11th round, I had that fight squared away. And Elamhanaleh, won the 11th and 12th in my book. That was in 2022. But since the Haney loss, Bentley has stopped 3 out of his last 4. He has a hell of a jab. He's really accurate as a puncher. He could crack, and he carries his power late. And so you mix a guy who throws a good jab, a guy who has good power and great timing with accuracy against an older, slow, marauding guy who's trying to set up his backhand, who doesn't really have the greatest feet. I like Bentley by stoppage there. But I wouldn't blame you, Top Dog, if you take Saavedra. Top Dog in the house, boxing fan. Yeah, we got boxing fan in the back, dude. Seeing a boxing fan back makes my day. That's my boy. Bet 365 Delio plus 250. I'll pull it up in a second. Let me get caught up real quick. Johnny just doing a slip. Does Vidal really good? He does, man. Skeezy, Perth in the house, Western Australia. Shout out to my boy on YouTube, Axel. So Axel is this small content creator. I like Axel. I've never met him. I don't even know if he knows I exist. I watch his content. He did a breakdown of Vidal Riley and Master Nick, and he's picking Riley to lose. Nobody's 100% correct. I'm just assuming, Skeezy, you probably saw his video. I think Vidal Riley has the energy behind him. He's the A-side, super marketable. He really impressed me against Chef Clark. Full transparency, I picked Chef Clark to beat Vidal Riley. Vidal Riley impressed me. I think at 38 years old, Master Nick is going to be a little bit too faded. And I got Riley on the money line at decent value. Yeah, man, Callum Peters, my favorite prospect in boxing. I think he's a future champ. Yeah, 100%. Sometimes, guys, the odds are a reflection of the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're an international show here. Keys is from the UK. We got Skeezy from Western Australia. I live in Sydney. Boxing fan, I think, lives in New York City and New Jersey. We got Ohio boys in the house, Texas boys in the house, the Philippines. We're an international show. When I get my YouTube analytics, we have over 60 countries who watch the show. That being said, I think sometimes odds could be a reflection of the unknown. So, guys, Kiza, you can't expect everybody to know who Callum Peters is. You know what I'm saying? So people are pulling out their betting apps. They don't know who Callum Peters is. They're not savages like us. They don't pay attention to the Australian domestic scene, even though you live in the new UK and you know who he is. Not everybody is as big of a savage as you. So I think odds might shift due to the fact that some guys call themselves sharps based off of picking dogs. But over time, you guys know the ones who call themselves sharps by just odds betting, it's fluky. They're not consistent. You can't just be, you're not going to be consistently successful in this game betting on boxing, just betting on odds. You have to do the work. You have to do the tape. You have to know the sport. You have to know the fighters. You have to know the English domestic scene, the Aussie domestic scene, the American domestic scene, the Canadian domestic scene, especially with Eye of the Tiger. The Eye of the Tiger promotion signing with DAZN. That's great for us because we cover them. Pro Box, freaking Zuffa. You get my point here. So you can't just odds bet. I think I'm going to, because if anybody ever saw Mizuno from Papua New Guinea box versus Callum Peters, it should be more like 7-1. Callum Peters is that dude. So I think that's what it's about. The issue with Master Nick is he's 38 years old. Vidal's 28, 10 years younger. I like Vidal on the money line. I think the odds are good. Guys, the trick for this weekend is going to be not to be greedy. It's kind of like after last weekend with all these awkward fights, not a lot of sort of, this shows you how successful we are on this channel. Last weekend, we hit 2 parlays. All plus money. All of our parlays are always plus money. This is just a sign of how successful we are on this channel. Last weekend, we go 2 for 6, and everybody in our Discord acted like it was a funeral. The other channels went 0 for 6. You know what I'm saying? We picked Seb Fandora by knockout. We hit that. We picked Moses Ituama by knockout and parlayed that. We hit that. So like this weekend, in contrast to last weekend, there's a lot more opportunities that kind of look quote unquote safe, right? I think the trick with a weekend like this is going to be for you guys to not be greedy. When you're putting your parlays together, and I guys, when I give you guys my tickets, I don't do it for you to follow me. I don't expect you guys to tail my bets. I expect you guys to be like, oh shit, okay, Johnny put out 6 tickets, Johnny put out 7 tickets. Let me pick and choose. I like that. I agree with him on that. I don't agree with him here. Let me pull this from that ticket. And so when you're piecing your own tickets together and you're looking at a 5-legger, right? And it's plus, 700. What I suggest you do this week is take that 5-legger that's plus 700 and make it a 4-legger that's plus 500, because I'm very confident in my picks this week. Like I always, not always, I'm never really confident, but this weekend I'm very confident. But in the past, in these weeks in which we sit back and we're just waiting to collect, there's going to be upsets. I think there are going to be upsets. I don't know I don't know which favorite is gonna lose. I don't. I am kind of worried about a few. I think there will be upsets. I don't, if I was a fortune teller, I'd be able to tell you which ones they'd be. So when you're piecing them together, don't get greedy. If it's a 4-legger, make it a 3-leg. If it's a 5-legger, make it a 4-leg. Mike from Melbourne, Australia in the house. We still good. Top dog. King, it's your birthday. Let's sing happy birthday to King. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to King Jr. 23. Happy birthday to you. That's what we do out here, baby. Hopefully you're spending your birthday with people who love you, who care about you, and hopefully you do something that you enjoy today. My birthday's in 4 weeks. April 27th, I will be turning 44. Do you think Heaney had a sudden digression? I think so, man. I do think that with a style like Nathan Heaney, a guy who cuts weight, who is very musculature, body composition wise, it takes a lot of energy to, when Heaney's at his best, he looks like a fitness bodybuilder, right? So that kind of you kind of could fall off the cliff quickly, and that's what we saw. So when he was at his best, though, he was he was always an overachiever. Don't get it twisted, guys. Nathan Heaney was a 17-1 underdog against Denzel Bentley. So it's still a head scratcher. Freaking head scratcher. And so I'm not that this is why I don't blame you for taking Andriy Saavedra. If there would be an upset, I think it'd be Saavedra on the money line. Full transparency. You guys know you can come to my channel. I'm not going to sell you on things. I'm not going to tell you to take my tickets. I'm not trying to change your mind. I think if there's an upset, it'd be Andriy Saavedra to beat Denzel Bentley, even though I'm taking Bentley to knock out Saavedra. And then maybe one of the girl fights. Maybe one of the girl fights on the MVP card. I think, look, don't get all sad. We play the long game here. The best sport in the world is boxing. We don't have a season. We win way more than we lose. I think somebody is going to get upset in the girl fights. Ezekiel says his birthday's in 3 weeks, April 23rd. So, quick story, Ezekiel Lopez, 8518. My father wanted to name me Ezekiel. It was his favorite chapter in the Bible. And my mother wouldn't let him. My dad was going to call me Zeke. I mean, we know, ironically, I grew up in Ohio, so I'm a diehard Buckeye fan. And so when I was in college, we had a kid named Ezekiel Elliott who, played for the Cowboys. Zeke Elliott. When I was a kid, as a Cleveland Indian fan, we had a pitcher named Greg Swindell. His nickname was Zeke. So I don't know if that, my dad wasn't even a religious guy. But Ezekiel, the book of Ezekiel is the famous book that was quoted in Pulp Fiction when Samuel L. Jackson would do his, and you know, the right of the path of unrighteousness is for the path of the unholy. And Jesus said, he will know my name is the Lord when I wreak my vengeance upon thee. That's Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 17. Now, ironically enough, I played basketball from the time I was 7, second grade, until I graduated high school. I wore 25 because of Mark Price. And then I played baseball all through college, from 7 years old through high school to college, and I wore 17 because of my cousin Jeff, who played for the Dodgers. So 25-17 is that verse. Those were my two numbers. A little bit of coincidence. Happy birthday, Zeke. When comparing him to Bentley, I don't know what I missed. Pat Brown over 4.5. Look, I got to give... Obviously, I'm glad to have Boxing Fan back. Boxing Fan is a guy that who helped push me over the edge in July to start a Discord. So Boxing Fan was truly on the ground floor of our Discord. He was there in the beginning, and then he left us because it got crazy, and then he came back, right? When I saw he rejoined, it really made my day because, like, I take this personal. You know, I put a lot of energy and effort, and I talk to a lot. You know, if if you reach out to me, I'll talk to you, and I reciprocate that, right? PJ is a dude that started on the ground floor. Same thing. Started ground floor, left, and then came back. But PJ, you know, I've watched this dude grow in terms of boxing intellect over the last 7 months. I look at PJ as like a client of mine that I coach, you know, and I'm not trying to like create a hierarchy. But now when I look at the Discord, PJ went from a guy that would be like, you know, stressing over his parlays week in and week out, asking people, trying to like almost fixating over winning. Guys, if you guys are fixating over winning and stressing over fights, that's not the way to do it. You know, sometimes it doesn't go that way. Now I go to the Discord and people are adding him, asking him for his advice. I'm like, dude, this is what we're talking. This is what we're doing here. We're creating. It's an academy. It's an academy. PJ the Pro, in a span of 7-8 months, this dude's come a long way with his boxing acumen. Pat Brown, to answer your question, over 4.5 or under 4.5. Look, the odds are terrible. Pat Brown on the money line. The odds are terrible. Pat Brown by knockout. So if anything, you got to take him by decision, which I don't think it goes the distance. I think Pat Brown wins by knockout, or the over and under. And PJ, I got to be honest with you, man. This is on you, bro. I didn't know this stat. I didn't know that his fights never went past 4 rounds because I was happy with the $1.20 to parlay that with another play. So this is on you, man. Have faith in your research. You've been doing a lot of film study. You know, when I go to the Discord and people are adding you, like newbies who joined, saying at PJ the promoter, could you look at my parlay? I'm like, dude, this is dope. This is why we do this. How many Tauruses are we just the house of Tauruses? Taurians stand up. The house of the bull. We still good. I was watching him in the amateurs. He got robbed in the Olympics as well. Yeah, he got robbed so significantly, Kiza, that he was thinking about actually putting his pro career on hold to go after the Olympics again because they're in Brisbane in 2028. What's up, A Self-Made? Watch me in the Olympics. Yeah, so you guys know what time it is. Assad, hello, Johnny. Who are your UK sources? UK sources, Joe Stunner Boxing is a guy you've seen me collaborate with on my channel. But we have my UK sources in my Discord. Kiza, UK source. So a couple boxers too. I don't want to out. Give me 1 second. Hi, Johnny. Hope you don't check your WhatsApp very often. I sent you a whole bunch of new messages. Okay. Sorry about that. Boxing Fan. Why is moderator moving my... So Boxing Fan, I don't have a moderator in my live stream. I have moderators in my Discord, but not here. Somebody's removing your chat? I feel really comfortable. Tim Tszyu gets a knockout. I agree. Rando Light, the boys, a few fights, let us know. Yeah, Boxing Fan, I don't have a moderator on the live chat here. Only in the Discord. His name is Gil. Happy, appreciate you. Sent from Pat. Bentley is in for a tough fight, to be honest. I think most things are on his opponent's side. Also, Mugia, sparring partner. Yeah, I don't. I don't. I think Saavedra is very average. In 2019, I was in Bondi Boxing Club the first time Matteo Tapia stepped into a boxing gym. 150 months later, Matteo Tapia takes Andrei Saavedra to a draw. Andrei Saavedra had a decent amateur career. Matteo Tapia is a kid who started doing like pad work, boxercise classes. In a span of 2.5 years, Tapia drops him and fights him to a draw. Yeah, I don't think Saavedra is that good. I think Saavedra is slow. I don't like his footwork. I don't like his decision making. I just think that I always talk about this. If you're giving me all the attributes of a great fighter, whether it's God given attributes like size and reach, or, you know, power, or just learned skills such as, setups, feints, fight IQ. Of all of those things, I'm taking timing over all of it. And Denzel Bentley's timing is world class. We've seen him on the world level. Oh God, did you watch the Sazi knockout, dude? The trap he set, dude. What, dude? If you know anything about boxing, Derek Osazi is a tough out, dude. Bentley just set him up with a. Bentley was backing him up, locking him onto shots to where the announcer, the broadcaster, was thinking that Derek Osazi was in the lead, and the entire time it was a trap. Bentley was walking him on. Boom! Hits him with the uppercut. Walk one punch type of power, dude. I really like Bentley here by stoppage. Dwayne Styles in the house. Checking a VA salute, Mario. It's Mario. It's Mario. April 27th, baby. Just a bunch of DJs in the Discord, boys be stressing, parlaying, all of it. They are. Well, I don't know if is DJ the right word. I think, you know what, Giselle? I think we could reframe that and call the boys perfectionists. I don't know if they're DJs. I think the boys are perfectionists. I think that they really enjoy winning, but who doesn't? And when I worked for a leadership and personal development company out of Las Vegas, Nevada, I talked about this last week on my live stream. One of the most noticeable signs of being a leader is asking for help. So we had a saying, it's okay to ask for help. Because you look at narcissists, you look at psychopaths, sociopaths, these are people that are walking through our world who think they know everything. These are the people who are creating online products, calling themselves experts, and they know everything and they're the best in the world. These are sociopaths, right? They're projecting themselves onto the world as they can't learn anything. Now, inverse to that are people who are like the boys. They're putting their hand up. They're asking questions. They're showing vulnerability. They're admitting that they don't know something. They're putting the work in and they're willing to learn. So I wouldn't call them degens at all. I would call them students of the game. I would call them perfectionists. I would call them JSB insiders. We up. I just found out who Tapia's last week through an interview. I want to be a Mexican Aussie as well. Yeah, Tapia's descent. He's 100% Aussie. He does. He's born and raised in Australia. Surfer kid, nice kid, good dude, big dude for the division. I think you know what? Saavedra really struggled with Mateo's size and his reach, and Mateo's footwork is not good. Mateo gave Saavedra the fight he wanted. Denzel Bentley is not going to give him that fight. Denzel Bentley's feet, his timing, his jab, and his backhand, I feel will be the difference in this fight. I think we're going to see levels. I don't think Andrei Saavedra is a world level guy. Lauren by points, not sure, brother. What you think? Bentley has only lost to the best too. I like Bentley, man. I don't want to harp on that too much, but like I told you before, there is a path to victory for Saavedra to win. There is. So if you boys took injury, feel confident. There is a path. I mean, he's the popular upset of the week is injury. Let's see what those odds are right now. Yeah. So money's coming in on Saavedra. Just from a optic perspective, it's hard, man. It's so. Do you remember when we did the breakdown of Brandon Figueroa and Nick Ball? And I was telling you guys that it was really hard for me to get past Nick Ball's offensive bag, like how everything with Nick Ball's offense looked the same, how everything with Nick Ball's sort of punches look the same. He doesn't change tempo, and you guys were calling me crazy, and I was like, there's something about a fighter who's seasoned like Figueroa who could time that and who has power and who will. Every now and then you look at matchups. Same thing with the Murtazaev fight, where and I'm using examples in which we picked underdogs. You know, Murtazaev with Josh Kelly, it was the same thing. I was like, I didn't like Murtazaev's resume. I didn't like Murtazaev's pace and his tempo. I don't like, everything looks the same. And it was my reasoning for taking Josh. Uh, you guys, what this fight reminds me of, guys, this Denzel Bentley versus Andrew Saavedra is Tiger Johnson versus Nico Flaz. All you guys picked Nico Flaz to beat Tiger. I took Tiger plus 900 to knock out Nico Flaz, and he knocked him out. And it had nothing to do with Nick Flaz. I like Flaz. He's marketable. When you watch tape, tempo, speed, tools, diversity, plan A, plan B, plan C matters. When I look at Saavedra, everything looks the same to me. He's telling everyone what he wants to do. His backhand is good. I don't think it's world class. It could do damage, but it's his best tool. His feet, if your feet aren't matching, if your feet and your hands don't equate, in my opinion, I'm not going to pick you to win. I look at Bentley, his hand speed, his timing, his jab, his power, all of that is here. I look at Saavedra, it's just here to me. Now, I could be wrong. Bentley could have anything could happen in boxing. Out of all the girl fights, which ones you see? If I had guys, if I knew this, I would tell you. If I knew that, I would obviously tell you. The thing about the girl fights is when you only have 2-minute rounds. We've seen this over the last 2 years. We've seen 6, 7, 8-1 underdogs come in and outwork the A side. Like you could be a female fighter and come in as a 6 to 7-1 dog and face a fighter who doesn't have the power to get your respect, and you could outwork them and win on points. We have seen this time and time again, and we're looking at a lot of UK fighters on this MVP card who aren't big punchers, who are going against Mexican fighters, Latin American fighters who have a lot of output. So what I'm talking more is strategy. I'm not talking specifics about I see this person losing, but strategically over long periods of time, we see Latin American fighters, Mexican American fighters, Mexican fighters outworking volume-wise UK fighters in terms of output. And so we see these matchups. There's these matchups on paper. Like I don't trust C level fighters. Chloe Watson, $1.56. McKinnon could win this fight. Shannon Courtney, she looks good on the pads, but I mean she's very green. Irma Garcia is a plus 420. Irma Garcia is the world champion. She's plus 420. She's 44 years old. She has over 30 pro fights. She's fighting a girl in Emma Dolan with 8 pro fights. This is what I'm talking. I'm not saying Emma Dolan's going to lose. I have Emma Dolan on a parlay of mine, a long shot parlay that pays plus 2,200 with some other crazy shit. But this is a fight I've had my eyes on. I would not be shocked if Irma wins. I'm not saying she's going to. I'm picking her to lose. But when you look at statistics, patterns, we've seen fighters come in before. I say it all the time. You guys know what I'm about to say. Fighters with over 30 pro fights coming in as the B-side, going to the UK, fighting British fighters with under 10 fights, and they win. It happens all the time. Bronco Lara, Frankie Rodriguez. Those are just a couple Latin American fighters. Albert Botagaziev was a 7-1 favorite against Jazza Dickens, who was a Brit who went into the UK, who went into Turkey. Jazza had 35 pro fights. Botagaziev had 8 or 9 pro fights. Botagaziev got his ass beat, stopped in the 4th. You saw the French Olympian Soufiane Omaha, 7 pro fights, 7-1 favorite, loses. We saw the guy from Puerto Rico just 3 months ago, Yankee Rivera, same sort of thing. So what I'm trying to do is, make you guys aware of patterns of statistical patterns. I'm not saying Emma Dolan's going to lose, but if we've seen patterns before, she has 8 pro fights. She's not a world beater. She's a 5-1 favorite against a world champion. Irma Garcia is 44, but this will be her 31st pro fight. So this is what I'm talking about. I wouldn't be shocked if we see upsets. That's all I'm saying. Chantel Cameron, Ellie Scotney, Carolyn Dubois. I like those fights. This is a fight no one's talking about. I love this fight. Cortez versus Garcia. If Andres, dude, this was the fight I was most closely preparing to pick the dog based on odds. I was this close of taking Cortez based on just sort of like, trajectory. But when you really dig deep into Garcia, if I think it's a 50-50 fight, I will always side with the technician. I give Erickson the speed advantage, and he's just a little bit more tighter. There's just something about his boxing product that is just more well-strung than Cortez. But this is another one. I wouldn't be upset if you took Cortez here. I think Cortez is super live here at plus money. I do, full transparency, if you're not in my Discord, I do have Erickson Garcia. But I wouldn't be mad if you took Cortez here. I wouldn't be mad at you if you took Saavedra. Renee Santiago. I'm comfortable with Santiago on points. So Renee Santiago, Stellar Boxer, Johnny Parlay Zoo. Yeah. You King, you're in the Discord. You know my picks. I got Renee on a long parlay. Full transparency, guys. Free money. I got my prop of the week is Renee Santiago on points. These are all plus money bets. I think Renee should handle them. And guys, I'm a loyalist. Renee won us a lot of money in 2025. He's kind of like, he probably has a Japanese passport by now. You know what I mean? They kind of like he was going to Japan as the dog, and then you could only go to Japan so many times as the dog, and you keep winning until you become a world champion. This is what happened with Renee. I think Renee beat Calixto, who was a fellow Mexican fighter. They fought once in Mexico, and then I think the rematch was in Japan, and then he fought another Japanese fighter, and now this is him defending. Bentley is coming off a long layoff. He wasn't in the ring for 2 years. Yeah, this is wrong. This is fake news. Bentley is not coming off a long layoff. Bentley's been out of the ring for 15 months, not 24 months. Bentley's been coming off a layoff not due to any injuries. Bentley's been coming off a long layoff because of Janibek Elamhanaleh tested positive for steroids. Bentley's coming off a layoff because he was supposed to fight Janibek Elamhanaleh for his world title in early 2025. Janibek pops. Then he was supposed to fight Andrei Saavedra twice. And that fight had to get rescheduled. The first time was in August. Second time was in December. Now this is the third time, which is now April. So at 30 years old, Denzel Bentley, I don't consider this ring rust. I don't like this rhetoric or this narrative that he's been out of the ring. This isn't like a Keith Thurman being out of the ring against Seb Fondora. This is totally different. This is a dude who's had all training camps. It's Saavedra, who's going to be 36 in 3 weeks. It's Denzel Bentley, who's the fresher guy, who's trending in the right direction. He's the European champion. I'm more stressed out about Renee Santiago on points. I hope Renee Santiago doesn't knock his opponent out. I love Bentley here on the money line, and I love Bentley by knockout. The Dolan fight, that is the rest of the girls are good. Yeah. We PJ, man. You know a narrative we like using on the guys. I'm not going to sit here and ever tell you to bet your hard-earned money and that things are going to be a lock. I don't believe in anything can happen in boxing, man. Buster Douglas was a 40-1 underdog. Nathan Heaney was an 18-1 underdog against Denzel Bentley and won. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. So, are the rest of the girls good? The odds on the rest of the girl fights at MVP card aren't too great. You guys are going to have to get tricky if you want to make money and pick the method of victories. Like Caroline Dubois, is she going to beat Terry Harper? Okay. If you say yes, is Caroline Dubois then going to win on points? She going to win by stoppage. That's what you guys are going to have to figure out. Super chat, boxing fan. You don't have to super chat me. Telling out it's still day one, motherfucker. Yes, to get skipped. I didn't see it, man. I didn't see any of your comments getting skipped. Maybe it was one of these things that they were coming in and I just didn't see them. But you know, you're my guy. ISD1MF is a philosophy that I live by. I coach by. It's in my second book. Shout out to Boxing Fan for supporting me. It's an acronym for It's Still Day One, motherfucker. If you have this philosophy in life and personal development and leadership and growth, and you wake up every day, whether it's your passion project, you're trying to work on your marriage, you're trying to be a better friend, whatever it may be, if you have the mindset that every day is day one, like the learning mindset, day one of any new journey, you're open-minded to learning, then you're going to grow. The last thing we want is that mindset of the expert. I know everything. I don't need to listen to anybody. I know everything. I'm an expert. We don't want that. We want the ISDMF1. It's still day one, motherfucker. I could be 10 years, 20 years into the game, and it's still day one. In my fitness, in my writing, in my public speaking, in my coaching, and everything. If you have the day one mindset, you are opening your mind up to be malleable, to learn. Boxing fan, thanks for the super chat, brother. We miss you. PJ, I can see Dolan fight ending in a draw. They both throw a lot of punches. Dolan had longer reach. Is anybody playing a draw, guys? That PJ, you bring up a good point, and hopefully you're not cursing us. Do you guys remember from like July to September, July, August, maybe July to October, July, September? There was a period of 4 months where we were getting a lot of draws, and we haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had one in a while. Is PJ cursing us? PJ, where do you see a draw? You see draw? Look, I go into every week open-minded, man. Anything can happen. What if Terry Harper comes out and fights her ass off? This is another thing, guys. You know I have Caroline Dubois, Sweet Caroline on the money line. I have Caroline to stop Terry. But Terry is a 3-division world champion. Terry has been stopped twice. She got stopped at 147 against Sandy Ryan. She got stopped at 130 against Alicia Bumgardner. And this fight's at 135. Terry's bigger. She's 5'9". Caroline's only 5'5". We know that Terry, though, crumbles. She kind of falls apart with pressure. And we know Caroline likes to throw a lot of pressure early. But we have seen Caroline slowly fade mid to late rounds in fights. So what if there is a world to where Terry Harper chooses to box and she chooses to weather the early storm of Dubois and she's able to be good enough or competitive enough to drag Dubois in the mid to late rounds and start winning late rounds? Because you got to think about all these options. Now, full transparency, I have Caroline stopping Terry under 6. But I just took her by stoppage at plus, I think it's plus 290. Badagazi have a 12 fights. They franchised him too quickly. He was beating undefeated guys too. I was shocked. Yeah, but Badagazi isn't the only guy. This is a statistic that we've seen over and over. You know what I'm saying? These guys with storied amateur career. Yenis Tellez, when he fought Abbas Barral. Yankee Rivera. Galal Yafai when he fought Frankie Rodriguez. Sufi Umihan, who we already spoken about, the French Olympian. Badagazi. That's only in the last 12 months. That's only in the last 12 months. There's more examples of this. It's literally, I think it's more of a sign of modern boxing, of the corruption with promoters wanting to fast track their guys who have steam behind them because of whether they had a storied amateur career or they're an Olympian, and they fast track their progress to make that big bank at the behest of their fighters' maturation. And this is what's happening, because there was a time, guys, in boxing where before you fought for a world title, and we were your handlers, we need to see you against a southpaw. We want to see how you react to a swarmer. How do you react to a boxer puncher? How do you react to a southpaw? How do you react to a guy who's comfortable fighting on his back foot? How do you react in the pocket? This sort of, can you come back from being down on the cards? And then once we get all these sort of questions sort of figured out, then we'll step you up. Then we'll go from prospect to contender to potential, fringe. In the UK, they do their sort of like, district belts, and then they do the regionals, and they do the British Commonwealth, and then they do their European titles. And then if you follow that era, you'll be fighting for world titles. A lot of the steps are skipped these days. And, blame it on whatever you want, but we've seen a pattern. We've seen a pattern emerge. Coach Bermudez, he's back, dude. Shout out to Coach Bermudez. Shout out to Yoeli Hernandez. Coach, man, you're a value integral part of our squad. JSB Insider, one of the most beloved JSB Insiders, man. His boy just fought Terrell Gachet last weekend on the undercard of Keith Thurman and Sebastian Fondora, and became the first fighter to stop Terrell Gachet. I got to be honest with you, Coach. I thought that fight was going the distance, and I'd love to bring you on and we could talk about it. I thought that fight was stopped early. Even though Yo-Yo was dominating Gachet, I thought Gachet was adhering to the game plan, at least trying to. I didn't think he was getting hit too clean, but Yo-Yo looked good, dude. Like, I mean, you just beat an Olympian, a guy who's fought at the world level for years, a guy who's never been stopped in Gachet. Title shots, title eliminators have to be next for Yo-Yo, man. Shout out to Coach Bermudez. Ben under 8.5. I definitely thought Gachet was going to be able to take Yo-Yo deep. The ref was like, hell nah. I don't like what I see. Let's stop this. King of Fitness, Caroline on points. I think also Bentley on points. Yeah. The safest bet, Caroline money line, Bentley money line. Look, if you're torn, Bentley on the money line is great value right now, guys. You don't have to get sexy with this. Look at this. It's almost a 50-50 fight right now, boys. Look, you don't have to get set. I only chose a method of victory because you boys asked me for a plus 2,000 parlay. The boys are like, Johnny, can I get a long shot parlay out here? Y'all got anything that was plus 2,000 out here? So I had to get sexy with it. But, dude, 71% return on the money line is great value. Earlier in the week, this was 53%. So there's a lot of money coming on Saavedra. I actually thought there'd be more money by now. I thought this would be closer to either 50-50 or Bentley actually being the dog. But it looks like it's going to stay right here. And let's look at the method of it. And yeah, look, I think, I think Saavedra's live. I've been saying that all stream. So, just so you know, all you Venezuelans out there, we have a couple Venezuelans in the chat. Shout out to Lucio Triziano. He's always in the chat. I think that's his name. He's a boxer. He's from Venezuela. Shout out to the World Baseball Classic champions. A lot of spunk and a lot of fire. Saavedra's a Venezuelan. He's live. I think Bentley's going to win. The money line on Bentley is already great parlay piece. Great, if you have a deep bankroll. I know guys like Muscles. There's guys who are in our Discord who are betting 10,000, 20,000 on money line bets. 10,000 on Bentley gets you 7,100 in return. 20,000 on Bentley gets you 14,200 in return. So with that in mind, the money line is a great value. If you're going to go any method of victory, go half unit. You might as well do a long shot parlay. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna get sexy and take Bentley at either plus 280 or plus 320 by knockout or by points, you might as well add that shit to something else to make it even crazier. Go half unit or quarter unit. Harper Dubois draw my bet. Boxing and look, man, like I said, dude, Terry can box. I'm a fan of Terry. Terry's an athlete. She's bigger, 5'9". What the thing about this fight though is, how long could Terry Harper remain composed? How much pressure could she deal with from Dubois? How much will Dubois turn it on? Will Harper be able to fight at range? Will she be able to take Dubois past the 5th? But like there is a path to victory for your bet. You know what I'm saying? If you were just throwing that bet out there like Pat Brown draw, I would be like, no. You know, now we're talking draws. Anybody playing Chisora versus Wilder draw? There's my boy. Guys, if you didn't watch our live stream yesterday, we had the sharpshooter, the sniper, Julius on. Always a pleasure when Julius has time to share with us. He's one of our JSB insiders, Sharp. He says take Vidal money line, Tszyu money line, Reese money line, Goodman money line. Yeah, let's see what that's a nice little pluser. Yep. Plus 110. So Julius, you don't like the Pat Brown knockout anymore? Because yesterday on the live, you said Pat Brown knockout, Reese money line, Riley money line, Tszyu money line. Angelo Soriano, what's up, brother? Keep up the good work. Good luck. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support. Guys, we're a community. It's not about me. It's about the squad. We're approaching an hour. We're floating between 70 and 90 in this live stream. Just like the stream. That's all I could ask for. If you want to learn more about our Discord, the link is pinned in the comment section below. You can just click it. You can find out more. It's Good Friday here in Australia. Whatever you believe in. Hopefully you're hanging around people who love you. PJ Hunnit. I think Dubois going to solve her, but if Harper comes out swinging, Dubois got enough to win on points. Yeah. I like what I'm seeing in the build-up, too. I know people are going to say, you know, yeah, Caroline hasn't had a stoppage since 2023. But sometimes, guys, when we're trying to be sort of sharp on our method of victory, and we learned this in the Jaya Pataya Brandon Glanton fight. When we picked Jai on points, when the whole universe was picking Jai by knockout. I say that to say this. It's not always about the A-side fighter. You know what I'm saying? We didn't pick Jai on points because we thought Jai was a point fighter. We knew Jai was a knockout artist. We picked Jai on points because we knew how big of a dog Brandon Glanton is. You know what I'm saying? So, inverse to that philosophy, Caroline by knockout, we have seen Terry crumble before. We've seen her quit on the stool before against Sandy Ryan in the 4th round. And we've seen her turn her back in a flurry. She's fighting AB at 130 pounds, even though AB popped dirty for steroids, Bumgarner. But we've seen, if you rewatch that fight, Bumgarner's touching her up, and Terry Harper does the, you know, mortal sin of boxing, turns her back on her opponent. It's kind of like if you remember when a couple months ago in Australia, when May Solomon knocked out John Wayne Parr's daughter. May Solomon was a 4-1 dog. She fought against Jazzy Parr, John Wayne Parr, legendary kickboxer's daughter. And Jazzy was winning the entire fight until she wasn't. And she got hit with something clean, I think, in the 5th. And then she didn't like it, and she turns her back. That is a telltale sign of white flag. So we've seen this from Terry twice, right? Terry turned over, I think, when she was 20. She's 29 now. Caroline's 26 in her prime, wanting that AB fight. You're telling me Caroline isn't saying, hey, if AB stopped her, I'm stopping her. You know what I mean? So I fully expect I'm betting on the fact that I've seen durability issues in Harper. I've seen the vitriol in this matchup, and I've seen the competitiveness in Caroline Dubois, specifically not just with Harper, but her competitiveness with AB, Alicia Bumgarner, because that's the fight to make. And Bumgarner stopped her in 2021. I think Caroline's going to go for it. What do you think of Renee and Denzel on a parlay? Yeah, so I have Renee on my long parlay. I have Renee on a standalone. Renee Santiago is my prop of the week. I have Denzel on one prop. I have Denzel. I think I have Denzel on two props. I think I have Denzel on a long shot parlay by knockout, but I think he should win. 2-minute rounds. Send Coach B the link about Coach B's in our Discord, man. Oh yeah, to get him on. I've been trying to get Coach B on. Coach B came down to Australia. He came down to Sydney a couple months ago when his guy fought. His guy was on the zoo. I think it was it the Sammy Goodman card or the Giant Bataille card? I hope Harper team prepare for that pressure. Dubois don't really got that pop in her last knockout was 23 showcase fight round. Harper been stopped twice. Sent from Pet in the house. Dude, we got a very guys. We've grown this into a bunch of our whole chat is knowledgeable. Renee Moneyliner decision. If I'm gonna go heavy, my bankroll, Johnny. Look, I'm standing on business. I got Renee on points. Let's go. Let's go, King. Let's go, King. I got Renee on points. I'm dug in. I'm dug in, boy. That fight goes down in 7 hours. I got Renee on points. Christian likes Terry Harper's YouTube videos. He likes cakes. Harper got more drawings. The thing is, I like Terry Harper, man. I like her. I like any fighter who takes their strength and conditioning seriously. She's always going to come in shape. It's just almost we've seen her. I don't want to say get bullied before. How you guys pick the term for it when you see a fighter fall apart to the pressure. You know, the old school saying would say the lights were too bright. I don't think it's that. We've seen her fall apart before, man. I think Dubois is going to be sprinting. Dubois could punch. I have Tateron on my long parlay. The only insider info, so this is a shout out. This is the Max Reeves fight. Max Reeves versus Waitai. Waitai is a Kiwi boxer. This fight goes down on the Tszyu undercard. The only insider info I have on this fight, because Max Reeves, the odds look pretty decent. I think he's $1.56 now. I'm gonna be honest with you. Here we go. Okay, money's coming in on my boy Francis. So the only insider information I have on this is that one of my clients, you guys know this, he's a JSB insider. I'm gonna keep him anonymous. He's a Commonwealth boxer for Australia. He's an amateur. He's trying to make the Olympics in Brisbane, and if he doesn't qualify for the Olympics, he's gonna turn pro. He spars all these guys. He knows all these guys. He told me not to bet this fight. He told me that's why I don't have this fight on any of my parlays. But he said the Kiwi could win this fight. He said the Kiwi super live. He was like, if you have some boys who are looking for a dog on the Aussie card, on the Tszyu card, it's this kid. Now I'm not betting this fight, but I got shout out to Box. He's in our Discord. He's a JSB Boxing Booth. I think he said Francis is live. So when I hear multiple guys telling me said fighter is live, you got to start believing it. A Boxing Booth says he's live. My buddy who's a fighter says he's live. I don't have action on it. It's on you. I'm going to put that on you. I don't blame you, dude. We're athletes, boxing fan. We're athletes. I don't blame you, man. I don't blame you at all. Sandy Ryan. I'm a simple man. Christina knows that. I'm a simple man. I don't need a lot. Do Carl look good at shaving away? And do you think Brown is special? Pat Brown is only special with what he does to Ducar. Ducar in his prime could fight. I think he's a bit faded now. This fight was made though by Pat Brown's people, and I saw that you took him off of your parlay, and this is why you win consistently though, Julius. Guys, so Julius yesterday had Pat Brown by knockout on his parlay. He removes it. And I told you guys this at the beginning of my stream. I said, there is so much food at the table this weekend. That buffet, we're seeing everything. All of our favorite foods: crab legs, steaks, prawns, lobsters, baked macaroni and cheese, cavatelli pasta, linguine with clams, garlic bread. It's all at the buffet. The trick this weekend, though, I think, is rather than taking 4 plates, take 3. Don't get greedy. You know, a win is only a win if we win. 5 out of 6 isn't a win. There's a lot of plates at the buffet table this weekend. If you're questioning, guys, by this stage, considering Japan pops off in 7 hours, if you guys are hesitant on any of your picks, don't play it. Intuition is a real thing. Film study is a real thing. Talking like you guys hang out on this channel is a real thing. You guys know your shit, man. Don't second guess yourself either. You know, if you're watching my channel day in and day out, you know your shit. I'm just the conduit of all this. So, you know, trust your instinct on this stuff, man. Johnny, you got any? I'm releasing. I have a 4-leg UFC parlay I'm putting out after this live stream. Shout out to. Thanks for asking me, PJ. I got a shout out to somebody on Instagram. Shout out to, or maybe is it Instagram? No, shout out to Mr. Moon Madness on Instagram. He's an insider. He lives in South Australia, but they don't let him bet on boxing, so he can only bet on MMA. I told him, give me until midday. I'm going to put an MMA parlay together for everybody after this live stream. Everything Boxing, we appreciate you, man. Thank you for supporting us. I might dump a bag on Denzel to Angel Soriano. Good luck. We wish you well. Daily Dig, a win is only a win if we win. 100%, man. That's how we do it. All right, I'm going to take a few more questions, guys. We're over an hour. There's still 60 people in here. It's my Good Friday. I have prawns in the fridge. I have oysters. I have to, you guys know I was talking, whenever my girlfriend comes over, her name's Christy, I have to Christify my place. So I got to fucking bleach the bathrooms. I got to wipe the floors. I got laundry already washing. She's very classy. So I'm a bachelor. I've been on my own since I was 17. So I got to lock this up because I got like 2-3 hours of cleaning to make sure things are up to par for my baby. Appreciate you, Johnny. Favorite UFC prop. All right, guys, stay tuned, man. I appreciate everybody here. It's good to have some of you old timers back. It's good to have the new boys. Stay tuned to the channel. Wherever your money is at, good luck this weekend. I will be going live tomorrow morning, and I'll see you. Hopefully tomorrow morning, Renee would have won. Hopefully we would have got our prop victory because we got Renee on points. Wherever in the world, you guys be good.